Welcome into another fine, fun-filled episode of the Power Hour. I am Steve, of course, my partner, the urban sensation, the icon that is C Red. And joining us tonight on this particular show as we kickstart the holiday season is a person near and dear to my professional heart, somebody that I got to call matches for my very first day in this business. And she has been knocking stuff out of the park ever since that day. Please welcome our resident Supergirl. This is the incomparable Selene Grey. Selene, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate being here.
I've been thinking about this since we booked this. I'm wondering why I haven't had you on to this point. I know you went on hiatus there for a little while and you were absent from the scene, but you've been back now for well over a calendar year, and I haven't been able to sink my claws into you until right now. So thank you for taking time
Of course.
to visit with us tonight.
Love it. I really appreciate the being here. And then I just always, like you said, we've known each other for years, and I really appreciate coming back to kind of going the whole round away. So really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Wow, that is some excellent insight. I appreciate it. Red, she's rocking and rolling tonight. You said based on your ARC loyalties that she was going to be a lame guest. I think you were absolutely wrong.
Dude, like we're only a minute in. Come on now.
Come on now. Funny story. At Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, on my birthday, I got a Selene Grey autograph picture, which was fantastic. I marked out like a small child, and now here she is on the show. So thank you again for making this whole thing full circle for me. You have been involved in some pretty interesting storylines, but before we get into that, you were gone and then you came back. What was it about this business that made you want to do it all over again? And you put your body in harm's way. You're not a play it safe kind of wrestler. You take some chances in that ring.
Definitely. I mean, I've always wanted to come back. There was always a plan in motion to we wanted to start our family, and then I get back into shape and then just get back at it. I never wanted to leave. It's just, it was that time in my life that if I didn't do it, it wouldn't happen. And I really wanted to have a family with my husband.
Now, are we broadcasting who your husband is? Because I you always get a little weird when these things come up. Who knows? Who doesn't? Does it? The whole kayfabe thing. It's still confusing even after 8 years.
I mean, to be honest, I think everybody knows who my husband is. So I don't really. He's not a secret to me or anything, but or to anybody else. So I mean, it doesn't matter. We keep it professional. Obviously, we don't rely on each other in the wrestling world. We just make sure that we work our own things and get to where we want to go separately. We don't have to be together in any kind of notion. If it works out that we are working together, it works out. But if not, if they'll, for some reason, we go to one place and the other one goes to another place, we're okay with that too.
Yeah, you guys are always working. I see, flyers and such with one of you somewhere just about every weekend in this business, which is great. The couple that wrestles together, I guess to a certain extent stays together. I actually had a chance to work with your husband this past weekend. Don't piss all over my parade, C-Rat. I see you shaking your head. What?
That ain't true.
We're trying to make it true. We're trying to put good vibes out there for 2022.
Dude, but don't mislead the people. Remember, I've lived that story. Remember?
That was the old days with the old guard. These are new people with new loyalties and it's the new regime, man. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, let's jump right back into this then, shall we? We saw you last month at Southland Championship Wrestling, and it was great. When I got the information from the owner, hey, Lynn's gonna be here, I was like, fantastic. Someone is going to finally take that strap off that blonde-haired big mouth. I'm of course speaking of the goddess of gains, Angel.
Yep.
And you and her, I've seen you guys fight over the years, over the mists of time, many, many times.
Yep.
This match was something special because both of you went through a very similar experience it's the time. If I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. So you both wanted to start families, and it was interesting to watch that dynamic because both of you have been back for about a year. And I watched you in the ring, and as I'm sitting there on commentary calling the match, I got this incredible feeling of deja vu, of like, I feel like I've been here before. And I mean that as the highest compliment, because you guys are moving in that ring like you did almost a decade ago, which I think says something about the both of you as athletes. I want to hear what your thoughts are on that match. I know it didn't end well for you. Chicanery took over, and I thought you were injured, it looked like, at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun, obviously. All matches are always fun. But like you said, there was a lot of shenanigans going around during that match, which makes it fun. But I mean, I'm very competitive, so I definitely like to win. So just having her team on her side kind of, it wasn't right, obviously. But hopefully I do get another opportunity. I do feel like I am a bit slower. I'm trying to keep up with myself the way I was 8 years ago. So I'm trying to get back into shape as much as I can and continue doing what I was doing. As me, I'm very much I judge myself a lot harsher than other people, I guess, do. I want to make sure that I'm as close as perfect as I can be, and that I'm going forward and not moving backwards. So I'm working on that. Like you just said, came back in February, so I'm still working on getting back my speed, getting back. I'm definitely not scared of it. Like you said, I do a lot of crazy stuff, but I'm not scared of it. Just it's my speed. I know I have to work back up to being as fast as I was.
Well, you were certainly one of the most exciting wrestlers. Back in the day, you could do things in the ring that people were like, my God. And that was, obviously, in those days, 2014, women's wrestling, and I hate to use it like that because I kind of feel like it shouldn't be women's, it should just be wrestling. But back then it was, it was its own thing, and it isn't what it is today. Can you comment on being a worker back then and then being a worker now? I'm not going to say it's easier because that's not true, but people, come to these shows looking for these matches because the women are doing things that even some men can't do.
Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. So I mean, I agree with you. Definitely, it was a lot harder when I was in the ring before, just to get that time in the ring and getting people to book you. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, and I wasn't going to say it's hard, but women's wrestling is wanted more by fans now than it was before. So it's a lot easier to get more bookings or be able to travel lots of other places. Not that it wasn't before, but it's more focused on, it's not just like people would say a bathroom break match or anything. They expect more from us, and they expect what they expect from the guys from us. So that's the biggest difference.
Back in those days, when I first started, and I'm going to ask C Red about this in a minute. Even in 2014, women's matches were kind of specialty matches. They were they were early on in the show, and now here we are in 2014, and I've worked a couple of shows where the women have main evented and blown the roof off. So it's come a long way. I feel like it still can go farther. Red, back in the day when you first started, I mean, it was a different world. What do you see then as opposed to now in women's wrestling?
The bathroom break, as Selene called it. I mean, depending on the women, and that's just the honest to God's truth. I didn't get excited about women's wrestling until IWA Mid-South. And that is when I first laid eyes on Mischief and One Dirty Bitch, I'm sorry. OB. And I honestly, I fell in love with both of them because I felt like, hell, they didn't have to fight each other. They could have fought hell that night. Samoa Joe was on the card, Punk, AJ Styles. I mean, hell, I felt they could have went out there and whooped any of their asses. So that's what turned me on to women's wrestling. Shimmer came down the pipeline, and I was a huge fan of Shimmer. That's the first time I got my eyes laid on Awesome Kong. And that first night was it for me. If I could be a polygamist, I would have married Awesome Kong also.
We don't condone polygamy on this show. So just to,
Hey,
for
if I
anybody
could,
that want to cancel us,
if I could, I would have. So it has totally evolved because the women now are more athletic. Some of them are crazier than the men. And all in all, they're more talented now. So I mean, when you look at a card now and you see a Selene Grey, you see a Renee Van Peebles.
don't say her name.
Renee Van Peebles, the queen of
No business
mean.
coming in at
I-
Crash Givings and talking that mess. And Selene wasn't even there to defend herself. And
I thought we said we would talk about all of this later. See,
this
you interrupt me. You
I'm
interrupt me.
I'm interrupting you.
How
This is
rude.
what the ARC does. You see, they come in and it's you and it's Miles and it's Renee. And Renee hasn't had a cup of coffee yet in the new Crash Tested. Yeah, she was an original, right? She was there and she was the bar setter. But this is not your daddy's CTW. And Miss Gray.
But aren't you always the one talking
down.
about the CTW originals?
I don't like
Yet
when
you keep forgetting that the ARC is the house that's we built CTW. We built it along with some other gentlemen, you know, but come on now. So stop being so rude, Steve.
I'll tell you what.
That is so beneath you.
As it's been well documented on social media, I am out of Crash Tested Wrestling, but I might come buy a ticket when Selene Grey shows up and shuts Renee Van Peebles' damn mouth, because that girl's been talking, ARC, Queen of Mean for so damn long. It's going to be a breath of fresh air when Selene comes in and puts her foot right through her head.
Steve, first of all, you're only out as a commentator for the simple reason you did the dummy. You hired your replacement and you didn't even see it coming. So
I'm okay with that. Cactus Rack is a gem.
But you did it yourself.
Women on commentary, I think that's where we're going, and I think that's where we need to be.
And that's fine, but you did it yourself. So you lost your job.
It's all right. That's fine.
You lost your job.
Anyway, Selene, Renee Van Peebles came out, stumbled into the ring, grabbed the microphone, couldn't hear a damn word she said, but she said,
first of all, that is not what took place.
I didn't hear anything. All I heard was blah, 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 Selene Grey, blah, 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 blah. I was just assuming what was going on.
First of all, she did not stumble. Like she had something in her hand, right? Right. My 20 pounds of gold.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You guys are bringing, I love the people that just bring their own championship belts to, there you go.
It's not the fact of bringing my own championship belt, because it's not my belt, but it's the person that I decided to take out is a promoter. And I wanted him to remember that I am his champion.
We all remember.
Well,
we were there.
I'm sure as he's laying in traction now, he's remembering. He won't have a good Christmas.
I was stealing pictures from Selene's Facebook page to put on our little show flyer to let everybody know that she was going to be on tonight. And I came across a lot of pictures of you and Renee working recently.
Mhm.
And it didn't seem like she was just whipping your ass. I mean, there was a lot going on in those pictures. I feel like it's kind of crazy for her to come into your house because you are CTW and she was CTW. Do you think she's coming in and talking all this shit because she's jealous that you are the face of the franchise right now and she's not?
Yeah, to an extent, yes. I do believe that she is a little upset that she wasn't the first woman asked back. So that is because, like you said, we've wrestled a lot recently together, and it's gone every way. Last match we had, I did come out on top. I know there's some times that she comes out top, but it's always a sneaky way. I don't think she's
Oh,
ever
that's a
beaten me.
shock.
Yeah,
Wow,
I don't know
really?
if she's
The
ever beaten me fair and
ARCBC?
square. It's always very sneaky. I mean, I'll give it to her. She's got some good antics and good tactics. She's definitely a Loki. So I mean, definitely
Yes, she
something that I
is.
have to watch for.
That is fantastic analysis.
Yeah, so
All right.
I mean, like I said, yeah, I think she's a bit jealous that she's not there because that is my company as much as she's gonna say it's hers. Sorry, CTW Chapter 2 is my company, not hers. She can try to come to be on top again, but it's Selene Grey all the way right now.
All
It's
the
gonna stay
way.
that way. All the way.
You know, to put it in terms maybe Red will understand, it's Selene Grey all day.
First of all, that moniker is already used. See,
I'm
that's
just saying.
trademark.
We
So,
can
I
take
will
it
be
back.
making a call to Mr. Rocket
All
and
day
his
Selene
lawyers.
Grey, all day.
Hey, that wasn't me,
Marcus
remember. I
Rocket.
said
No. I have footage, and there will be footage of him saying this, and
victim cookies can.
the Rocket
Hey,
lawyers
remember,
can
Sierra,
contact.
I said all the way, not all day. You remember?
All the way.
I
said all
Marcene's
day.
a good friend of mine. So,
So, and I mean, this is all nice and cute and sweet, but again,
It's a fact. It's the facts. It's not cute about the fact.
let's be honest. Who was the last woman holding the title before all the CTW shenanigans?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Selective
you do.
amnesia.
Yeah, you do.
Nah, don't remember.
Yeah, you remember
Miles
that
Mercer held the women's title, right?
You remember the damn ARC held all the damn titles,
Yeah, Miles was
the heavyweight, except for the heavyweight title.
Miles was the women's champ, right?
We held all the titles.
You
so
did.
Renee Van Peebles held the women's. We held the tag. I mean, so we were a dominant force, and we were coming for the heavyweight title. Then the damn shenanigans started. Okay, so now CTW 2.0. Okay, was she the first woman asked back? No. But then this Natasha Crane gets in our ring? No. See, the whole time, Steve, you haven't.
What's wrong with Natasha Crane?
You haven't been paying attention because I've been noticing everybody and everything. And see, up to this point, all you've been is talking about the CTW originals.
I have.
But yet, here's a CTW original and you're shitting on her.
Absolutely.
Well,
I have a ton of respect for Renee.
That's why you have a swollen knee right now.
My knee is rather swollen, that's for sure. Yeah. Here's the thing. Renee Van Peebles was a very capable champion, and she was a fine crash-tested wrestling superstar. And I'm not poo-pooing her because I don't think she's good. I just think it's ironic that, you know, now companies coming around, things are going well. Selene and Natasha had some spectacular matches, and the buzz is on the street. And Selene was getting ready to come out and address the crowd to talk about where she was going to take this company in 2022. And she wasn't able to be there.
She's an opportunist. Like I said, she's a very big opportunist. There were some issues. I could not make it. I'm sick. I'm still sick now. And she heard that through the grapevine, and she ended up on there that night. She's the biggest opportunist that I've ever seen. So I couldn't expect anything less. I have a lot of respect for Renee, but it's just something that she would definitely do. It's just something I would expect from her. And you know what? I have no malice with that. she saw the opportunity. Why not? I mean, I'm not scared of her. I'm not
Well,
scared of her, but she can talk what she needs to talk.
well,
But
let's see what she has to say.
all
Oh,
right.
come on. No. This is not going to happen.
Yes, this is
You
going
will
to
make
happen.
me mute you again.
I honestly don't have anything to prove to anyone to let alone let a female like Selena Grey.
Well,
She was
it's
gone
Selene,
for
not
like
Selena.
she was gone for like what 3 to 5 years. Now all of a sudden she's back and they're praising her for what? Don't get me wrong, Celine's good, but not great. But I understand wrestling fans are stupid and obviously don't know no better, especially here in Chicago. So, as the saying goes, I can show you better than I can tell you.
That's clear.
Stay tuned.
I agree because, like Steve said, my name's Selene, not Selena, and I've known her for so long. That's something she probably shouldn't have got wrong. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for Renee, but I'm not scared of her. I've never been scared of her. We've had matches back and forth. She can talk the talk. Let's just see if she can walk the walk. So,
Well, you already know she can walk the walk. You know that.
if she's not sneaky, let's try to have no sneakiness. Let's try that and see if she can do it.
You get the win however you get it. Isn't that right, Steve?
No, that may be the way ARC conducts business, and and Selene, that's something else that we need to figure out before the re-debut of CTW in February is who's going to be in your corner, because it's very clear that Renee Van Peebles, much like Angel, will not be by herself. It will not be a one-on-one match.
Yep.
You're signing up for a handicap match because you'll have the piranhas crawling around the ring, just like we had Hudson Xavier at SCW. That was a 3-on-1 match, and you almost won and beat the tag team champions and the women's champion by yourself twice. We saw what happened at Steam Hollow. We saw what happened last month at Feast or Famine. Selene Grey was seconds away from being the champion and got screwed twice by outside interference. Now we got the ARC, and I know you don't know who's in the ARC. It could be anybody. I could be in the ARC and not even know it.
That'll never happen.
Well, I hope not, because I wouldn't know. The point is, Selene Grey, the superstar that she is only one person and cannot be expected to beat 3 people.
You don't have to beat 3. You only got to worry about 1.
Now,
only 1.
I mean, like Steve said, it wasn't just the 2 times, it was the 3 times that I kind of got screwed over, because we had that tag match too, where my whole team just left me alone with the 3 people.
I know, that's right.
So I mean,
that was the brewery show. Pow invades. Hunter and Marco had to go deal with Pow, and suddenly it was a 3-on-1 Donnybrook, and Selene had no chance. Then we come back to last month, and it's Selene Grey coming out by herself, being the superhero that she is. Oh, and by the way, Evil Gaines Neville is going to show up with Angel. So you've got those 2 vipers prowling the perimeter, and you got Angel in there. So it's not fair, C-Red.
Life isn't fair. When has life ever been fair?
Oh, for God's sake.
So I definitely have some people that have my back, like you were saying, but I want to win fairly also. I want to win. It's supposed to be me versus Renee. So me bringing in somebody else, it's not me winning fairly. It's me stooping to their level. So as much as I can try, I'm going to try as much as I can to win fairly, win by myself. It's supposed to be a one-on-one. If the worst comes to worst, yeah, I'm going to bring some people just to maybe just hold off the other 2 people. But my whole thing is that it is a one-on-one match.
She said 2 people.
Yep.
You're laughing, Red, and that's funny. And you know who else laughed? Hudson and Xavier laughed. They did. You guys are all ARC anyway, so it's Gaines Neville in one place, ARC in another, but you're all cut from the same cloth. You all were in the same faction in the original Crash Tested. We know this. But I look at Hudson and Xavier, and I look at you and Miles, And I picture in my mind that day where you push Selene Grey too far, and she does have to bring in family, because I don't like those matchups if she's bringing who I think she's bringing for either Hudson and Xavier, especially you and Mercer. You got no shot. No chance.
But you know the group is bigger than just those members, Steve.
I don't care.
So don't act like I won't make other calls. And again, so while you think it might be 2, it might be 3, it might be 4. We might have a ref. We might have a bomb. We might have a man of a fist. Just the numbers, you know, the ARC just keeps growing and growing. And remember, don't think I was just at GLCW just being me this past weekend. Oh, the recruiting never stops, Steve.
You know, you can call Ghostbusters if you want to. She's got 3 letters that should strike fear into the hearts of everyone. And it's just kind of Y, G, W. That's the great equalizer here.
That
so
doesn't scare.
I would mind your manner.
Steve, does that scare us?
It scares me.
No, it scares you, Steve.
Because I know you're capable of.
Somebody like you, Steve. Yes, it will scare you. Somebody like us, we laugh.
Have you ever seen the picture of Selene with those boys?
Okay.
It's Selene Grey. It's the superhero we all know, but there's a different look, which means if you push too far, you may get a different version that I don't think Angel or Renee Van Peebles has met yet or is in any way ready for.
Let's just say this. If I join YGW, I'm not Selene Grey anymore. That's to the point where I've had enough and all rules are thrown out. YGW does not go by the rules.
Ever.
When I'm with them, I do not go by the rules. By that time, I'm done. I'm completely done. And that's not just people we picked up. That's my family. I have a relationship with them. My husband is a part of that team. So he's the one that trained me. And also Tom trained me as well. So that's my family. And once I'm part of them, the rule book goes out the window. If you see me in that gear, that's not Selene Grey.
Damn. You got no answer, Red. You got nothing.
What, Steve, what is there to, first of all, don't act like the ARC is not family. You have seen us before. See, you're acting ignorant now or stupid. Like you have never seen us before. Like you've never paid attention to us before. Like, as you say, do we play by the rules, Steve? No, we're the ones that write the damn rules. So remember, again, this is us. Business as usual. Nothing changes. The opponents change. We never do. So don't act like you're sitting there. Yeah, Selene. Yeah, do it. When guess what? You know us the whole time, Steve. I've always got a plan for the past 2 weeks. You've seen those plans unfold. So don't sit here and you know, try again. That's you always poking the bear, pushing the button, you know, when you know there is an evil genius, but who spawned and learned from the evil genius? There's a plan always. Always a plan.
You know, that's true. There's always a plan, but there are just some things in this world that despite your best plans and all the things that you think you can do, you can't plan for a bucket of chicken on your head.
Oh, well, I watched that and I ate the chicken. See, I didn't have to.
I know what they can do. Anyway, the point of the matter is, whether it be SCW or CTW, I kind of feel like Selene Grey has been working through some disrespect. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to go back in time. Do you remember Grave Matters in 2014? What do you remember of that through the midst of time? I'm not expecting you to remember everything or even anything, but there were some photos on your wall from that show. And it was, you were dressed up in the original Supergirl gear, which is the first thing that jumped out at me when I sat down in commentary. I'm like, God, we have superheroes on this show. And you were fighting, I believe it was Annika dressed as Wonder Woman that night. At least that's what it looked like.
Who was it? I'm sorry.
I thought it was, I forget what her ring name was, but I think her real name is Annika. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm old man and my memory is not great.
So I think Grave Matters, I might have gone against either Renee Van Peebles or it would have been December.
Oh, it might have been December that night. She was in the Battle Royal because December was running all kinds of shenanigans in those days for sure. I know Renee Van Peebles was working against Angel and there was a knee injury and there was that whole thing. How long did you work in PCW? Because I know I was there for the last 3 shows. That was it. But I imagine you were there longer than that.
So yeah, I wasn't really there much longer than that. I actually started training in February and then I started shows, I believe in either June or July. And then they had their last match in December. It was Dream Night with Sting was the last match that they had.
Right.
So it's only a couple of months that I was there before they closed down.
Yeah, that was me. My debut show was October. I did October, November, and December. Wow, it's cool that we were both rookies the same year. That I did not know that. I thought the way you performed in the ring in those days, I would never have thought that you were that new to the business because you were spectacular.
And that Sting show was the last show.
I thought it was Ricky Steamboat.
Was it? I thought it was was it Ricky Steamboat? It might have been Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat was the December show. Sting was a few months before I got there because I was like, damn, now I get to work here and I miss Sting.
Yeah.
I was at the Sting show. I was
the Nasty Boys, and then in November, I think it was the Headbangers or something like that. And then the final show was Ricky Steamboat. And all he did was get in the ring and say hi to the fans and then sign autographs. He didn't fight, but the Nasty Boys fought. But that's neither here nor there. So over these years, and you wrestled up until you started your family and now you're back. Who have been some of your favorite opponents? I mean, because you fought many, many matches and I've seen you up against many people. Does anybody stand out as a spectacular opponent that you really enjoyed working?
I mean, I just had a match with Rain Victoria. This is the first time that we went against each other. I really enjoyed working her. Of course, she had some shenanigans up her sleeve as well, but I mean, it was very competitive. We were back and forth the whole time. So that's definitely a match I do want to see again. We actually have a match coming up in December too. So we're going to try again and see if she pulls the same things again. And I've always liked Stacy Shadows and Haley Shadows. So Haley Shadows, Stacy Shadow, I've been working since I was brand new. Stacy Shadows, I've worked a few times. I'm sorry, Haley Shadows. I really enjoy working her as well. I love the way she is passionate. Everybody's passionate, but we definitely have a good chemistry in the ring together, me and Haley Shadows. So I do look forward to working her again soon here. We did work a couple months ago and we had a really good match. So unfortunately, it's one of those matches that you can only see on a camera phone. So we couldn't really see too much of it, but we had a really good time. The fans were definitely into it. We played to the crowd. We got the people to like us. We got the people on our side. So, I mean, it was a really good time. So I do look forward to working her again.
I've had the chance to work with Rain Victoria at CSW. She was a true professional and the crowd really responds well to her. And Stacy Shadows is probably one of the people in this industry that I fear the most because I was managing a wrestler while she was in a match and Stacy Shadows came out from the back and hit a wrestler named Vanessa Azur in the back of the head so hard that it was like watching car crash whiplash. She got hit from behind, and I thought her head was going to be detached from her shoulders. And I'm like, Stacey Shadow is probably not a great person to ever want to mess with. And that was the night that they were the Maidens of Iron along with Melanie Cruz. Very, very formidable people.
Yeah. I've worked Melanie too. She's definitely someone I would like to work again. She's great. Stacey and Melanie both are very, very tough competitors. So I don't think I could choose between them. They're probably the toughest competitors I've had.
Those are some excellent suggestions as far as people that you've enjoyed. Are you able to define what your favorite match has been to this point? Do you look back, sometimes when you've been sitting, in a room for a couple of weeks now, and just kind of hanging out in a little bit of solitude. And I imagine, thinking about wrestling is probably something you've done once or twice. Do you ever look back at the career that you've had, which has been sensational, and say, man, God, that night in 2017, what a hell of a night that was.
Yep, definitely. I think it's a little bit more closer in date wise. I had mentioned Haley Shadows. I think that's one of the best matches that I've had in my entire career, and that happened just a few months ago. So I'd love to do something like that again. I believe that was in September, so it wasn't too long ago. So that's probably what I would consider our best match, just because of the chemistry and everything. I really enjoyed that match a lot.
Recently, I saw a certain superhero do some work on a certain television show, namely AEW Dark. Was that you?
That was me, yes.
Tell me about that experience a little bit, because, one of the cool things about AEW Dark is I have seen a lot of people that I have got a chance to work with in this business. I've seen Sky Blue, Missa Kate, Sierra, Heather Reckless. They've all appeared on Dark, and then you recently appeared on Dark. What was it like?
So, I mean, it's definitely, I've done some WWE shows just as background talent, and then I've done the AEW. I can say that for sure that it's a completely different environment. It's like a huge indie show. So I don't know if you heard that from people too. It's a lot more laid back. I remember one time in WWE that Mark Henry, someone sat in his seat and he just flipped out. He flipped completely out. And told somebody, I don't remember who he was talking to, but he's told my seat, and he made a big, huge deal about it. And I was just like trying to look at my own stuff and pay attention somewhere else. But that's not something you would see in AEW as far as I see. I went a few months ago, but I mean, I don't see something like that happening in AEW. And all the respect to Mark Henry and everything, all the respect to WWE, but it is a different environment. I mean, if I had the opportunity to go to WWE, of course I'd take that, 100%. I respect everybody, but it is a different environment. Being there was great. It kind of came out of the blue, which was awesome. I went there. I was fine. We talked about everything, and then when I was in the ring, it was the day that CM Punk came back. So there was a huge crowd, and I was fine as running to the ring, but sitting there waiting for my opponents, looking around, I got super nervous.
I can imagine.
I was like, what am I doing here?
That's 20,000 people screaming.
Yeah, like there was so many people. And then as she came out and she came into the ring, as soon as I saw her, my nerves went away. We just did our thing, did what we were supposed to do. Just basically, I was just in the moment after that. So, I mean, just waiting was the hardest part. Waiting for her to come to the actual ring was the hardest part. After that, we did our thing and we did what we were supposed to do and got the hell out of there, and we were good.
Now that's a huge moment for anybody that has been in this business as long as you have, whether it be WWE or AEW. A lot of people are like, that's the end all be all. And to be working a night that will be remembered in history forever, like the night Punk returned to Chicago, is extra special with a crowd that was just on fire. And I know all of us, and I know Red had GLCW this past weekend, and the photos from that are nothing short of astonishing. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But when you're a wrestling fan and you're a wrestling worker and you've been in this business almost a decade, and you get that moment where you're in a ring with 20,000 people screaming, and you get to do your thing, and then you leave and you go back up the runway, and you sit down and you're going to change into your regular clothes. Do you at any point just kind of sit there and go, my God, how awesome is this?
Yeah, to be honest, like when I did the WWE, it was for an extra. So when they called me, they said it was for an extra. I had no idea I would have a match. No clue at all. So when they told me, they're like, okay, yeah, you'll probably do the match at this time. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I didn't tell him, but I was like, I'm an extra. Like, I'm confused, you know? So just coming, it was great. It was a little scary, just kind of being like, that came out of nowhere kind of thing. Cause as an extra in the WWE, all you do is sit around, right? You don't get a match, which was a great surprise. So, I mean, that I don't think I had the time to like drink that in too much because I wasn't really aware of what was happening until pretty much the last minute. I mean, of course, my husband tells me always bring your gear for anything. So of course I brought my gear. And then they're just like, it was like bam, 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 bam. After I got there, it was like, go take pictures, go do this, go do this. So I was like, okay. And so I did everything. So I really never got the chance to drink it in. So hopefully I get that opportunity again here soon, and I can actually be ready and like ready myself more for the match, because it was just like almost like blindsided kind of thing. And I mean, I loved it. I'd do it 100 times over again, even if I didn't know it was going to happen.
2022 is rapidly approaching, and you've been back since February of last year, so you're almost a year back in. Are you having as much fun now as you ever had?
Yeah, definitely. I do feel like I'm having a little bit more fun now with it, just because I'm a little bit more mature too. I don't want to please everybody like I did before. Obviously, I want to have a good match. I want to do everything the way it's supposed to be done. But if something, I'm not going to let anybody step all over me. If I don't agree with something, or if something doesn't seem right, I'll voice my opinion. So I'm a little bit more confident now than I was before.
Do you find that any of the younger talent seek your counsel as being a ring vet? Because back when you were working before you took a hiatus, you were young. Now you're a seasoned vet. What's the difference like being a rookie and a vet? I've heard C Red talk about it a number of times. How do you feel about it?
I mean, for me, I don't do a vet versus rookie. I do respect versus respect. You respect me, I'll respect you. You have an opinion, you have an idea. Heck yeah, I'll listen to it, no problem. But it's a team game. If we all have to agree on everything, I don't care if you've been in a year, I don't care if you've been in 10 years. Respect is the biggest thing to me. So,
wow, that's very similar to some of the explanations I've heard from C Red over the years. Now, aren't you sorry you besmirched this young lady? She kind of has your mentality in many ways.
Really? That's what this business is. Again, that's just common. I mean, once you reach a certain plateau, that's how you handle business. That's how you conduct business. See, we don't just get in the ring all willy-nilly, Steve, like some people.
It's one time. And I was trying to help my friend.
Oh, and how'd that work out for you?
Well, I got dropped on my back and I hurt my knee, and my wrestling days are over. I'm auctioning my boots off for a charity. But I got air. You saw that picture. I was up, man. There was some height there.
You were sucking some air? Yes.
No, I was good. I did all right. I hit everything I was supposed to hit, like a big boy.
And who took the loss?
I took the loss. Yeah, I got dropped on my head. There's no lie. I have no business in that ring, but I wasn't afraid to try.
There you go.
All right.
So Selene Grey is 2022. What's on your agenda? You're sitting there making your resolutions. 21 was great. You got back in. You are the face of the new CTW for sure. You've got a score to settle in SCW with that Vixen Angel, but 2022, new opportunities, new situations. What are you looking for in the new year?
So I really want to expand the states that I've been to, even the countries. Right now, I'm staying kind of close to the area to Illinois right now, just because I have a young child right now, a little boy. So I don't want to go too far. The most I've ever spent away from him is one overnight because I had 2 shows in a row. But this next coming year, I know that he's very, very attached to me. So just this next coming year, I think we can kind of either I'll take him with me, which is better for me, or I'll have my husband take care of him, and then I'll take the bookings over him because he'll have to take care of him.
Yeah, just keep Uncle Tommy away from him. That's my only
Yeah, definitely.
So Selene Grey, you're great, and you've been great. And when Renee Van Peebles comes knocking in 2022, I like to think that you're going to be there to greet her with a slam door in her face, because when all is said and done, there's only one alpha female in Crash Tested Wrestling Volume 2, and it is you.
Yep. So I mean, hopefully I get this opportunity too, because last time we are talking about how Renee was the women's champion at CTW. I never got that chance. For that belt. So hopefully this time we can actually give me the chance to obtain that belt and not just say Renee Van Peebles was a champ. Yeah, she was a champ, just because I didn't have the opportunity to get that chance.
That's right. That's the truth. SCW, what happened to you when Angel and Evil Gains and Evil was an embarrassment for them as far as I'm concerned? How are you healing after what looked like a pretty awful injury?
So I mean, I heal pretty quickly. I don't, obviously there's a few things that I won't do after an injury, but as far as not doing the things, there's nothing that stops me. No injury is going to stop me unless my neck is broken off or I'm decapitated. I'm still going to do what I'm doing and continue on what I'm supposed to be doing. So injury or not injury, no injury, I just keep moving forward.
Next week on this show, our guest is going to be Evil Gains and Evil, Xavier, Hudson, and Angel. They will be on this show. And I'm sure that they will see this show between now and then. They like to mock me, so they watch just to laugh at me and love See Red, as most do. Do you want to offer up a message to Angel? Because whether or not you're well enough or healthy enough to compete on December 18th at Christmas Bash, I'd be interested to hear if you have any thoughts for an Angel, because I know she'll have some thoughts for you.
So Angel, we've, again, just like Renee Van Peebles, we've been back and forth for years. You got your team. I definitely got mine. But if you've heard any of this show, if you see me with YGW, it's not Selene Grey anymore. So there is nothing that I won't do to get my win. Whatever you're doing, remember, everything becomes times 2.
Woo! Ooh, can't wait to talk to them next week. I got YGY to talk about, or YGW to talk about, and all this stuff. It's not Selene Grey, it's something else. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. And obviously, in February of 2022, Crash Tested Wrestling returns. I believe the show, it's Flatline, if I'm not mistaken, right, C-Red?
Are we even having a show? Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, I would think so. I mean, I'm not going to be there, but you will be there.
Do we have a damn president?
Well, I don't know about, Jed.
So don't be announcing we having a show, and guess what? We don't even have a damn president.
But we have Renee Van Peebles talking a lot of shit.
And your point?
My point is, Selene Grey, I'm sure, I mean, the Queen of Mean took time to poorly execute writing a message in which the grammar was horrible. perhaps you'd like to send her a message as well.
First of all, that was not necessarily her. Okay, I was trying to read. Plus, I'm constantly getting communications. See, unlike you, my phone stays busy.
Admittedly, I'm not the most popular person around, but that's okay. I've learned to live with that. Any messages for Renee Van Peebles?
Renee knows what I have, and Renee knows what I'm going to bring to the table. The more that she talks, the more that she looks bad. I just want to tell her, just show me. Don't tell me. There's no reason for that. Take your opportunity. You knew I wasn't going to be there. I could not defend myself. I was sick at home. Just bring it. Bring it. I don't care. In February, March, whenever it's going to be, I'll be there and I will defend myself. And don't make my claws come out, because you won't like Selene Grey when she's not Supergirl.
The face of crash tested wrestling, Selene Grey. That's fantastic. Now, real quick, before we wrap this package for the evening, C-Red, GLCW. You were there this weekend. A Dave Hero production. Val Venus, Shannon Moore, 1,000 strong. And you managed Backwoods Brown. That must have been something.
Oh, now you want to talk nice to me?
Well, I
First
just
of all,
want to get
it was way more than 1,000.
Okay,
Get the numbers right.
2,000. Sorry,
get the numbers right.
I'm merely going off the post that I see. That was the number I heard. I was wrong. I wasn't there.
It was an experience of a lifetime.
And you look good. You wore the good suit that night. That was tight.
No, it wasn't about wearing the good suit. It was here's the funny part. Selene Grey talked about working when trust when
The
Punk
night Punk
returned,
came, man,
and
what a
being
night.
nervous. And I was asked, why was I nervous going into this show? And the one thing that I know, and I've heard other people say, is if you don't, as a performer, if you don't get nervous before a show, just an inkling, then it's time to walk away. So to walk into a building when I first get there, and then there's Deborah to my left. ODB is walking through.
Dave Hebner or Earl Hebner, one of the Hebners.
Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner was funny as hell.
Anybody that would confuse you and Mr. T is
well,
drunk.
and again, and some people might have not understood that.
Gary
reference.
Coleman, I could have seen. What you talking about, Willis?
Shut up. Anyway, to understand that I'm putting on all my jewelry first because to not know the lineup yet. So I'm figuring, okay, we're somewhere on the end of the card, and find out we were in the middle, and it was like, and then we were asked to do a promo, and it was like Backwoods was asked. Let's because that was the funny part. Backwoods was asked, and I was like, ooh, okay. And he was like, you want my manager too, right? He said, yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm nowhere near dressed. And I've just got jewelry on at this point. And it was like, so hence the Mr. T reference. But now I've got to get dressed and cut this promo. And then again, for Braun Strowman or Titan or Adam to walk past you, and he is all of that, all of 6'8", all of nothing but muscle, is very intimidating.
I bet that's the way Renee feels when she walks around Selene. Very intimidated.
No. Anyway, again, I thought we were on GLCW.
I'm sorry.
Be quiet.
Want to keep her guest entertained.
To stand there and hear the music, and there's a difference. So when we were doing the meet and greet, the people were there, the people were walking around, the people were lined up first off, shout out to all the fans that stood in line for Adam, Titan, Braun, whatever you want to call him. If you guys didn't know, we raised $10,000 for the family, the Waukesha families that were affected by that tragedy with the motorists in the parade. And he donated all of his money, him and EC3. So just to be in the locker room with those two that did that was an honor. But again, you've got people from OVW, you've got just people from everywhere. And it was so overwhelming. But to work with Val Venus, and I was skeptical. You know, I had seen this post throughout the years since leaving WWE. So I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. And the guy was so kind and nice. And he gave me even a little scratch on the nose to remember him by. It was an
Red
awesome
got to
match.
see behind the towel. That's disturbing on many levels.
I even called him Valerie in the ring.
Gross.
I mean, it was just, dude, it was an experience of a lifetime. I keep saying that, but all those fans, like Selene said, at some point I had to like kind of tune out and remember I have a job to do. Let me do my job. And once I'm done, I'm done. I can then relax and yeah, overall it was a great night. Talking fantasy football with Jeff Jarrett and sitting next to Hornswoggle, hearing him crack jokes on Backwoods.
And you don't usually get to feel like the giant in a situation.
Anytime I'm around you, I do.
Fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
So again, it was the night as a whole was awesome. So I pray I get to do Blizzard Brawl again next year. You know, but I'm just gonna enjoy this moment for now and ride that high. You know, once in a lifetime. You know, everybody, you know, wants that moment. I haven't had those moments in a while. We similar had moments in DWA a few weeks ago. You know, unfortunately, the crowd took the word intermission for something else.
Yeah, that was not good.
And again, it wasn't the company. I just think it was, you know, it was just the way the show just happened to roll. But again, you rarely get crowds now over 200, you know. So anytime you can go 500 and above, you know, on our level, like, oh my God. So to do DWA and we have 1,000 plus, you know, it's like, wow, you know. Then to go to GLCW and there's had to be over 2,000 fans, only standing room only, you know, it's overwhelming, you know. But I come from Windy City, you know, where that was our belts, you know. We were known to have 2,000 in the crowd, you know. Right. So it's been a minute, but all in all, great experience, great locker room, great atmosphere. Not one superstar acted like they were the shit.
Like Mark Henry getting his chair stolen. Nobody locked like nobody.
But dude, here and here's the crazy part. So Selene brought up that, right? But you hear all these stories all the time about how people acted in WWE. You know, I've got friends, you know, people that have worked as extras, and they say it's a tense thing when you work for them, you know. Now, ask Selene, and she's here, ask her, was Mark Henry a butt that night? He worked for the company, you know. I'm sure he wasn't a butt that night. So and here's the thing. So I've never made, I've never made it any hidden agenda. You know, Selene said if she got the call, she would go to WWE. God forbid if Vince called me, no, I'm not going. Only for the simple fact, again, look at the state of the company right now. Every time you turn around, people are being released. Hell, look at what happened the other night. If that did not tell you that they are ushering out, and we can get into all of that, just some things are being pushed out, and you have to just more or less, we're back to this is what it is. I'm the damn boss. Take it. So I couldn't work somewhere where I'm working today and John Laurinaitis calls me 2 months from now talking about, your services are no longer needed, because my thing is I've got a family, I've got people to provide for, I've got grandchildren, so I just couldn't live like that. I'd rather, hey, I'm here, let me do my job. Boom, I'm good. And as she stated, it seemed more relaxed, and I can feel that in everybody, once again, that I know that has worked there, is that they've enjoyed working there because it's a relaxed atmosphere. I'm sure if we talk to Vic Capri again, Vic has worked both places. I'm sure Vic would say the same thing, so it's just what you're willing to do, but I would not sell my soul to the devil.
No, you've already done that. But I do appreciate GLCW, and anytime you have a good experience, I'm always happy when my friends do well. When Selene was on Dark, I was thrilled, because when people that I know succeed, it just makes me feel like I have a deeper connection to the business in general, and that makes me feel good. Now, Selene is
just trying to ride our coattails.
I'll ride the coattails. I don't mind. Selene's about to fall asleep, so I'm going to end this show but I got to say two things real quick. And Selene, I'm going to jam on the gas. So this is going to take 2 seconds, but it's going to be loud and it's going to be obnoxious. Okay. Lord. Rocket Pro Wrestling happened this past Saturday night. Gunner Brave, you piece of shit. You piece of dog shit. You are now Marche Rocket dog shit. You guys get your new tag team Victim Cookies. That was horrid. You killed the crowd. You killed your damn parents. You joined the Idols. I mean, why is everybody joining the Idols? It's like wanting to be the fourth stooge in the Three Stooges. It was ridiculous. It was stupid. I wanted to wipe the smile off of Johnny Nye's face. Thank God Joey Roth wasn't there. Gunner Brave, what you did to Rocket Pro Wrestling, you will pay for in spades. I'm now friends with Christian Rose, who I was dogging a couple of months ago because he's the better option here. And you and Marche Rocket joining the Idols is confounding, because you both have so much better to offer the table. And Mrs. Gunner Brave, mom sitting at home, I know she's going to be mad that I'm saying this. Your son sold out. Your son sold his soul. Your son is nothing but trouble, and he will have a comeuppance like nobody's business. I promise you that.
Don't Flash.
Flash, that's another victim cookie. But anyway, the Idols will do what the Idols do. They suck. I hate them. And at New Year's resolution in January, there will be comeuppances to go around. Shelly can't carry all of you, even though she always does. So Rocket Pro Wrestling, one hell of a show this past Saturday, Christmas Chaos. But all of you idol ass hats, consider you on notice, because there's a bunch of people in the rocker room that are tired of your crap.
Hey, Flash.
I'm one
Flash,
of them.
call me.
Don't call him Flash.
Oh,
Don't
that's right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Crap. So that's my little rant on Rocket Pro Wrestling. And Selene Grey is SCW now, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, her match at Steam Hollow Brewery, her situation to win that title was compromised by the asshats from POW. POW, 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 POW. Everywhere I go, everywhere. You know, I saw POW over the weekend had a show in which they gave their staff participation trophies. That's the problem with this country, participation trophies. You don't earn anything, you just get it handed to you on a plate. Difference between SCW and POW Entertainment. SCW, Southland Championship Wrestling. POW Entertainment. It's different. That's why you guys don't stand a chance. So, in the interest of fairness for what you did to Selene Grey, I want to put an invitation out to Jimmy Blaze. My good friend Jimmy, Sparky, here's an offer. Next Tuesday night, we will have Evil Gains and Evil on this show. But I am going to send you a Zoom code. I'm going to send you the code, and I'm going to ask you to join the show. I don't think you'll do it because I think in Latin, POW stands for no testicles. So, Jimmy, next Tuesday night, we welcome you to the show. We got the big show on the 18th. You guys say you're coming. You want to punch me in the face. I'm not that hard to find. The glasses alone, dead giveaway. POW Entertainment sucks. The talent sucks. Scott Spade sucks. GM Chris, or whatever his name is, sucks. I hope his neck's really sore. Anybody from POW wants to show up at SCW on the 18th, come on down. Selene Grey might not be there because she's not medically cleared, but she'll be there in spirit because you know what? SCW is battle-tested, war approved. You want to come dance with the devil? You better bring your A game because our dance card is full, POW Entertainment. And Jimmy Blaze, come on the show next Saturday, next Tuesday. We'll be here waiting for you. I'll be here waiting for you. Let's have a talk. Selene Grey, on behalf of Red and myself, we appreciate you taking your time. We've gone a little over an hour, but you're a champion, you're a trooper, and I can't think of anybody that I'm more excited to be around in this business than someone that was with me and there for me day one. You are a class act. I have enjoyed your career ever since 2014, and I can't wait until you pull the extensions right out of Renee Van Peebles' head. Right? Any final thoughts?
One, that ain't gonna happen. Two, you keep asking for an ass whooping, you gonna get it.
I'm done running. Come and get me. Selene Grey, you are a gem. You are one of the best in this business. Thank you so much for taking time out. I am so happy that you were here tonight.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thanks, C-Red. Appreciate it. I appreciate both of you. You guys have a great night.
All right. This is C-Red, Selene Grey. I'm Steve. We'll see you next Tuesday night. Evil Gains and Evil, the Goddess of Gains, and maybe Jimmy Blaze. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.